Hey everybody, welcome back to the Trading Couch. Myself and Luke here, and today we've got a brand new topic, which is
how I make £2,000 a week trading Forex.
so starting off, we just want to go through some tips and tricks and almost a checklist of how you got to the position you are, which on an average basis, I think we could say it's multi four figures every single week. So disclaimer: this isn't going to come straight away. We're going to explain through how to get to that point, and a realistic time frame onto when you can get there. But I'll let Luke start you off. And
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, before you even dive into Forex, I think it's important to do your research, understanding the risk that's involved in Forex, and kind of familiarizing yourself with what Forex actually is. So the first thing that I did was actually do research, so looking at videos, getting involved in webinars, seminars, and reading plenty of books, just gaining that knowledge, so just digesting as much information as possible. And then after that, I went on and back tested, so I came up with a strategy that I felt worked for me, and throughout that period it was a case of back testing and practicing what I had learned and putting it into practice, I guess.
yeah, I feel like by that point, when you're learning from somebody, you sort of take tips and tricks, and you have an overall strategy and training plan that you're following. But I think the most important thing that we always say is specialize that to yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be by the books. Obviously, there are set parameters you need to follow, but inside of those lines, you can specialize it to yourself. So don't be too strict, but as Luke said, in back testing, find what works for you.
Exactly that. So, after you've back tested for 4 or 5 months, you felt that something is working or something might not be working. Obviously, you would adjust accordingly. And then I think after you have back tested and you have something that actually works, it is proven that it works by giving you consistency with your trades. Then it's all about focusing on risk management. So ensuring that you don't lose money. You are managing the equity that you have to trade with, and then putting that forward in a live account.
Yeah, that is definitely the most important thing. And realistically, I think it's fair to say that you should be spending at least your first year not focusing on profits, and the main focus being learning, trial and error, practice, and just gaining an understanding of what Forex is. So I think the one thing we always say to people is make sure you are sure you want to do this. Make sure you have some form of passion towards it, whether it be Forex itself or just the idea of financial freedom.
Yeah.
You need to have a passion there, because it is tough to dedicate a year without anything back from it. But if you have the passion there, it's definitely doable.
Oh, 100%. I think anything that you want to specialise in comes with a lot of hard work and determination. And without that, you aren't going to see results. So, yeah.
So from there, as you said, get onto a demo account after you've done all your back testing and you have some proof that there is some profitability. You do know your stuff, which, as we said, maybe looking at that a year in, I think that's a fair gauge. Get yourself onto a demo account, and there's no set time frame, but you want to be on this demo account until you are consistently profitable. Now, what I mean by that is you haven't just had a week where you profited, or even a month where you've profited, because the markets are constantly going through different conditions, and you may have practiced in a condition that was favourable for your strategy, but then when you go into your real funds, or create an account and put live funds in, you may then switch over to a market phase that is completely against your strategy, or one that makes your strategy harder to be profitable. And then the second you're with live funds, it goes downhill. So make sure you are confident. Don't be too impulsive. Don't be too greedy. Wait until the time is right, and then take that dive to live funds. But then when we get to live funds, it's a whole other ball game.
Exactly that. So you've got to imagine that when you are trading on a demo account, it's not real funds, it's not your money. The thoughts and the feelings that you have and the emotional attachments that you have with your funds aren't there. But as soon as you move over to real funds, obviously, we then look at the psychology that is brought on by trading Forex. So this, like James said, is a whole nother ball game, and you have to basically train yourself to, I would say, be a robot, but have no emotions. Once you've placed a position, you're locked in. You should have done thorough analysis beforehand, and you should be confident that trade is going to play out.
It's funny because a lot of people say that The one quote, and I'm sure you've seen it yourself, is that the psychological attachment that comes with forex or trading in general is literally against all of your natural instincts. Like the emotional response you want to have in these situations is a complete opposite of the way you should react. So it's definitely a lot of training and as you said, trying to be emotionless. But don't be worried if at first you do fall into that category of being impulsive, whatever it may be. We've done a whole trading couch on psychology, so check that one out if you want to know all the different emotions we run through. But don't be swayed off or feel like you failed. It is just a learning game. There's even still times for me now where things sort of kick in. I've got to remind myself, so don't be afraid if it does kick in.
It's definitely a journey that most people will, well, everyone will take, and some it will take longer than others. As James said, there's certain times where he has to kind of readjust, and there's been times where I've kind of had to been like, you know what, I need to sit back and just let things play out. If you've done the analysis and you've put the hard work and graft into analysing that specific chart, you've got a specific entry that you've been waiting for all day, then what is it to say that it's not going to go the right way? Obviously we are trading based off probability, but you have put in that hard work beforehand, so you should have confidence in your ability and the position that you have placed.
I think moving on to the next main thing that we should definitely mention is compounding. So we've spoken about now getting onto live funds, the psychology that comes through it, but then how are we getting from that point to, as you said, you making multi-four figures every single week. So I'll let you sort of explain the basics of that, but the whole thing being compounding.
So obviously when it comes to compounding your account, I don't know if you understand what that means, but whatever profits you are making, rather than withdrawing them, spending them on shoes, clothes, whatever it may be, actually keeping those funds that you have made in your account and using those to then go on and make more money with is what compounding is. Now, for example, if you started an account with £500, you finished the end of week 1 10% up, you have made £50, so your account on week 2 starts at £550. If you then go and make another 10% on week 2, you're essentially ending that week £55 up rather than £50 up. So you've essentially added £5 to your compounding, and you're still only making the same percentage each week.
But then to put that into perspective, you've made 10% more profit wise than you did the previous week. So just from keeping that money in your account, you've gone from £50 return to a £55 return, and obviously the increase from 50 to 55 is 10%. So
this money shouldn't be your life savings. It shouldn't be money that you actually need to pay the rent. This should be money that can be forgotten about. This should be money that you can just use as an investment and use to make more money from. Okay, so when we say use disposable income, this is why. So you are able to compound your account, because if you would need those funds, you're obviously going to have to withdraw funds. That is just delaying your progress within trading.
So let's say you're now at this point, we're years in by this point. We are years in at this point, just to disclaim that. But we've got live funds, we've been successful with them, we've got our psychology in check, we're compounding our account, and then, as you say, maybe a year, 2 years down the line, from getting onto live funds, you can get to a point where you're at, where you've compounded your account to that much, that when you are making 5, 10, 15% in a week or in a month, that is converting to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 a week, which obviously is much higher than most people are getting working a 9 to 5 or a minimum wage job, and you're getting to do that with the freedom that you have.
Exactly that. And when your account gets to that kind of size, you're actually able to withdraw a little bit, not withdrawing the full amount of your profits, but withdrawing maybe 2-3%, but that 2-3% is actually a considerable amount. Like James said, it's more than what people would earn on a basic wage working a 9 to 5, so you are actually able to withdraw some profits while still continuing to compound your account. And the world is your oyster at that point. We have quickly gone over the steps and the things that it takes to be profitable and to obviously make those figures. It's now down to you to actually put it into action and go and follow those steps. Out of everything, I think what you need to take away from this is you can be successful in this field of work. You just need to find what works for yourself, stick to it, compound your account, ensure you're using good risk management, and have fun with it. enjoy what you're doing.
But what we will do, obviously we're talking here, we make this much, we do that. We're going to throw some profit sheets on the screen now. They'll be in front of you, just to show you what a realistic week or month looks like for us. Some of the trades we're placing. On top of that, if you want a bit more of an insight and you're not already in our learning lounge, the link is always in the description. We send through some profitable trade, some potential entries we might be looking at, so that even gives you the chance to potentially profit alongside us if you wanted to place the trades that we're looking at. And then on top of that, if you wanted to go further, there are many other benefits and things that we offer. Just check out the website. We won't ramble on too much, we won't try and hard sell it, but we'll leave that for you to look at.
As I say, don't be disheartened by the steps that it takes and the time and the consistency that it takes. Actually feel somewhat, how can I say it?
It's a good challenge, if nothing good comes easy, so
exactly.
If you thought you were going to get to that point within a year, then you're lying to yourself. And if you think you're going to get anything that good within a year, again, you're lying to yourself. So although it takes time, as Luke said, don't be disheartened, because if you're truly passionate about it, there's a whole journey there that can be enjoyable.
Exactly that. And I think more than anything, having the right people around you, i.e. mentors like ourselves, me and James, we are here to guide you through the unknown and basically sway you away from making the same mistakes that we once did. So yeah, that's probably the last and final tip within all of this, is just finding the right people to be around. But yeah, I don't want to blabber on too much. We hope that you've kind of learned something from this. If you want more of an in-depth look at how we make how much we do, looking at risk management, looking at the psychology side of things, we do actually have videos on YouTube already going over those said topics. Like James said earlier, we've got a topic on psychology, we have one on risk management. Have a look through our YouTube, watch the videos and educate yourself.
But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for joining us on the trading couch. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we're back here talking about another topic.